Albert Einstein once said, if the bee disappears off the surface of the globe, then man would only have 4 years of life. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more humans. The honeybee has been around longer than humans. There is fossil evidence that has been found that dates back to 150 million years. It is believed that pottery bowls and straw baskets were used as artificial beehives. The early age people mastered a way of how to capture the hives into containers and turn the containers into beehives. The Egyptians were one of the first civilizations known to have captured honeybees and harvested the honey. The honey was only used for the elite Egyptian society. Honey was considered the nectar of the gods. The Egyptians also used honey for medicine and wax from comb to embalm their dead. Just how important is the honeybee to the human diet? The honeybee is one of the most studied insects in the world. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the unappreciated honeybee pollinates 80% of our flowering crops, which constitutes 1/3 of everything we eat. Losing the honeybee could affect not only our dietary staples, such as fruits, vegetables, berries, and nuts, but it may also affect our beef and dairy industries if alfalfa is not available for feed. One Cornell University study estimated the honeybee annually pollinated $14 billion worth of seeds and crops. Essentially, if the honeybee disappeared, they could take most of the insect-pollinated plants with them, potentially reducing mankind to little more than a water diet. Here's some interesting facts about the honeybee. The honeybee is a social and cooperative insect, and a hive is developed into 3 types. First, there is the worker bee. Worker bee is basically what you see out working that most people see. It is a female bee that isn't sexually developed. There is the queen bee. She lays eggs for the next generation of bees. The queen is the only one in the hive. There's only one queen in the hive, and if she perishes, the hive will perish with her. Last is the male bees. They are called drones. Their sole purpose is for fertilizing the queen, and they are produced in the spring of the year, and they get pushed out in the fall just before winter out of the hive. A typical hive has 50,000 worker bees in it. It wasn't until 1586 it was determined the head of the hive was a female queen and not a male bee. The man that discovered this was Charles A. Butler in a book titled The Feminine Marquis. Worker bees have several jobs within the hive. They are nurses, guards, grocers, housekeepers, construction workers, royal attendants, undertakers, and foragers. A worker bee will fly 55,000 miles to make 1 pound of honey and will visit over 2 million flowers. A honeybee never sleeps. Honey never spoils. There was some honey found in King Tut's tomb, and after thousands of years it was still good and edible. A typical hive can make up to 200 pounds of honey. Honeybees are the only insects that make food for humans. A honeybee can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. A queen honeybee can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day and live up to 5 years, where a worker bee in the springtime will only live for 6 to 7 weeks and 4 to 6 months in the winter. There are a couple of things you need to know before getting started into backyard bees. First, you need to contact your local city government and determine if you are allowed to keep honeybees in your backyard. Second, you need to contact your State Beekeepers Association and the Department of Agriculture and Food and to get a beekeeping license. Third, find a good location in your yard where the bees will get the first light from the sun and that they will not be a nuisance to your neighbors. Equipment that you will need for a basic beehive consists of, see right here, a bottom, hive box, a top, and frames. Usually you'll need about 2 of these hive boxes, 20 frames. You'll also need some equipment such as a bee suit, gloves, some tools, spray bottle, and a smoker. The average cost to get started in the backyard bee business was about $300. These are sold in 2-pound packages, 3-pound packages, and you can get them in an already established nuke. The nuke comes with 5 frames just like this. They come with a queen bee, worker bees, and baby bees. Most bee purchases are done at the spring, which allows the hive to get established and to produce some honey. All you have to do is place the bees in your hive to get them established. Usually your queen will come in a separate cage like this. You'll put this in the hive. There'll be a candy plug, or you can put a marshmallow in there that will release the queen in a couple of days. And then you'll be off and going with your bees, pollinating your plants and making honey. In conclusion, Albert Einstein said if bees disappeared from the surface of the globe, man just has 4 years to live. Bees have been around before the beginning of man, and the Egyptians were the first civilization to use their daily lives, to capture the bees and use them in their daily lives. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, bees pollinate 80% of the flowering crops and account for 1/3 of all we eat. Bees are a social, cooperative insect, and the hive is made up of workers, a queen, and drones. To get started in your backyard bees, contact your local government, check out your licensing requirements, purchase your necessary equipment and bees, and then get started on your backyard bees.